First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your first alert forecast. 19 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We begin with breaking news. We want to keep showing you this picture. Cleveland police are desperately looking for this little girl. That's Ariel Sadler. Investigators say the 1-year-old could be in danger. Police believe Ariel is with her mom. That is her in this picture holding her. That's Cheyenne Sadler. They were last seen yesterday on Bryant Avenue near East 105th. If you've seen them or if you know where they are, call 911 or Cleveland Police immediately. And now to continuing coverage of the smoke out there filling the air, making it dangerous to breathe. It is another 19 First Alert Weather Day. Thanks for joining us first at 4. I'm Nicole Versansky. Brian Duffy is off today. Now tomorrow we have the risk for storms that could turn severe. 19 First Alert meteorologist Andy Chillian is tracking all of it now for us. Andy.
Yeah, lots going on here. So the smoke is going to linger through the rest of today, this evening. There may be a slight improvement this evening, but really it's not going to be until after midnight that we can get all the smoke washed out of here. Tomorrow, though, we have a storm risk in the 4 to 10 p.m. time frame. Now, it's not going to storm that long in any one location. It starts near the lake shore, so that'd be the earlier end of this range, and then moving south with time towards 9, 10 o'clock is when we'll finally get it clearing areas like Tuscarawas, Holmes, and Carroll counties. Damaging wind gusts the main risk, but we could also have a brief tornado or two just given all the spin in our atmosphere. So we want you to continue to limit time outside today, especially if you're sensitive to this poor air quality, and remain weather aware tomorrow. Have our weather app downloaded for any watches or warnings that are issued. Visibility still not great, 1 to 2 miles here. It's a little bit better Menor to Ashtabula, but air quality remains in the very unhealthy to hazardous range for a lot of us, and that will continue here. Maybe a slow improvement through this evening, but I'd still say we're in the unhealthy, the red range, and at least orange, unhealthy for sensitive groups. So if you have asthma or have trouble breathing with this type of air, you want to limit your time outside through the rest of this evening. Temperatures will continue to drop. Once we get that south wind in here, we'll finally get the smoke out of here, and that'll be the case as we head overnight, but still a very hazy view from our roof camera. Smoke clears tonight. I'm talking about the severe storm risk tomorrow, what you need to watch out for in the timing, and we have another storm risk coming on Tuesday. We'll talk more about that with the First Alert 7-Day coming up.
Well, the All-American Soapbox Derby races in Akron were postponed because of the smoke and the haze out there today. At 3, we heard from a father and son team who were hoping to race today. All new first at 4, Keith Grant joining us live in Akron with why that father-son duo is okay with the decision.
Nikki, the Soapbox Derby races here in Akron are a pretty big deal, drawing in thousands of people from across the country. The track right now, pretty empty. Typically the fans are loud, or the stands are loud with fans, but the organizers say they didn't want to put the racers or fans' health in jeopardy because of this smoke. Thick smoke blankets Northeast Ohio for a second straight day. The dangerous air quality canceling the All-American Soapbox Derby on Friday, an 88-year Akron tradition. The Super Kids races were planned. That's when children with disabilities race down this hill. The air quality meter reaching 200 this afternoon. Anything over 300 considered hazardous.
I think we're okay with it. We're not happy about it, but we understand the safety.
Blake Whitaker and his son Jordan show off their vintage cars. They have 5 at the Vintage Soapbox Show in Akron.
This is more like the one that I'm going to be racing.
This red and black car dates back to the 1980s. Jordan and his dad spruced up this car before the show. The one-day car show has been running for 5 years. Kenneth Klein drives in from Texas to set it up.
We have a lot of cars here that are like a grandfather passed away and the car moved on to the next spot. And so they're happy to bring it in here and show off.
The vintage cars line the floor at St. Matthew's Parish.
You got all these people from all over the nation, and you might as well take advantage of it.
Jordan and his dad drove in from Tuscarawas County for the championship races. They were supposed to be finishing touches on Jordan's own race car. Instead, they stood by their vintage cars. It's a father-son project they wait for all year.
We race all year long for this. You can't take this away from us.
All right, Saturday's races are still scheduled for tomorrow. Of course, organizers say they're looking at that forecast pretty closely. Some promising news here. The storm probably moving out most of this smoke. So that's promising news for racers and fans. Nikki, I want to bring this up. This would be the third time the races have ever been canceled in this decades-long tradition. The last time, 2020 and 2021 due to COVID. Live in Akron, Keith Grant, 19 News.
All right, Keith, thank you. 19 News bringing you continuing coverage of these air quality issues we're still dealing with. If you were planning on going to any concerts or some other events that are happening outdoors, check before you go, because some are canceling or moving things indoors. 2 lawsuits here in Ohio already filed against Taco Bell and the farm they get their lettuce from. 2 men are claiming they were infected with the produce parasite after eating at the fast food chain. 19 Data journalist Dan DeRosa is here with these breaking details. Dan.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how these play out. Now, the CDC is still investigating to find out if for sure that this is the lettuce that came from a farm in Mexico used by Taco Bell and distributed really throughout our region. Ohio is in the bullseye. Michigan is in the bullseye. Let's talk about the first case. David Ott. He's actually from Texas. He was visiting Youngstown. He was staying in a hotel that was right next door to Taco Bell. He ate there twice, June 18th and June 20th. What did he have? We can tell you. He had a couple of Taco Supremes. He got sick. He went back home, tested positive for Cyclospora. Next up, Mohammed Aid. This is a local case. He ate at the Lorraine Avenue Taco Bell in North Olmsted. What did he have? He went there twice, June 14th and 21st. And remember, this parasite has about a week to maybe 2 weeks incubation period. You could have it for 2 weeks and not show symptoms. He gets the cheesy potatoes and the avocado ranch chicken snackers. When does he get sick? He gets sick June 24th, goes to the Cleveland Clinic, and is tested positive on July 9th. Now, I spoke earlier today with the attorney for David Ott, the man from Texas who was here in Youngstown, and I asked him if he has a message for Taco Bell.
When you go to a restaurant or a grocery store and you buy food as a consumer, you're placing a ton of trust in those companies that they've done everything they can to make sure that your food is safe. And that's because the consumer has no way of knowing if it's contaminated. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it. And in this case, when that trust was placed on Taco Bell and Taylor Farms, they breached it, and now they're going to pay for it.
This is still an ongoing investigation when it comes to exactly what caused this. I asked Taco Bell, their media department, for a statement about these lawsuits. Nothing back from them, but we do have a statement from their website from yesterday before these lawsuits. Based on ongoing conversations with public health officials and out of an abundance of caution, Taco Bell has taken immediate action to voluntarily remove potentially impacted lettuce from a supplier in select state. The statement goes on to say, while no official advisory has been issued, we believe public health is a shared responsibility among restaurants, their suppliers, and authorities. It finishes by saying, and we are proud to have consistently acted quickly and proactively to protect our guests. The one thing I want to go back to is this little part of the statement right here that they have voluntarily removed. That shows that they haven't been ordered by the FDA. That would go a long way in a court of law when considering lawsuits.
All right, I want to get to some breaking news now. First at 4 and streaming live on 19 News Plus. This is live video from Westlake, where there is a large police presence, as you can see, on Canterbury Road. Police say a woman was assaulted at this home. This is between Detroit and Hilliard, again on Canterbury. The victim was rushed to the hospital and, according to investigators, with life-threatening injuries. Police say her husband is in custody. We have seen officers, police tape, and Ohio BCI all on scene there. As soon as we get any new information, we will bring it to you live here first at 4 and on 19 News Plus. A day after President Trump's primetime speech on election integrity, the administration is taking action. Today, the Homeland Security Secretary warned states to go along with the administration's security enhancements or risk losing some funding. Natalie Brand has the latest developments now from Washington.
The Trump administration is doubling down on claims that U.S. elections are vulnerable. DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin said Friday he's sent letters to secretaries of state in 4 states where DHS says it's identified more than 250,000 non-citizens illegally registered to vote.
We are going through these files one by one, and 1, identifying the individual, 2, did they vote, and 3, where did they vote at?
Democratic leaders, including Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, insisted their elections are secure.
If you got information, share it with us, and let's work together to address it. But I think at the end of the day, what they really have is a bunch of conspiracy theories.
Elections experts say documented cases of non-citizens voting are extremely rare, and also argue the president's claims about voting machine vulnerabilities don't reflect reality.
Those machines are kept under strict chain of custody, lock and key. They're tested. And then we don't just trust them. Even after that, we run audits to confirm by hand, counting those paper ballots to confirm that the machines counted correctly.
Here on Capitol Hill, Democratic lawmakers accuse the president of trying to undermine confidence in the upcoming midterms, as he also tries to push Congress to pass the voting overhaul bill known as the Save America Act. Even some Republicans are skeptical.
Mr. President, these people are misleading you if they're telling you that this can be implemented by November. The only thing that will occur is an undermining of the election integrity, the integrity of our elections right now.
Some lawmakers also question why the administration has cut around 1/3 of CISA personnel, the federal government's top cyber defense agency, which has helped to safeguard U.S. elections. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
All right, we want to remind you we are following breaking news in Westlake. We're going to keep some live pictures up. You see them there at the bottom of your screen. Police, BCI, all at a home on Canterbury. A woman, police say, was critically hurt. They say her husband is in custody. We're going to have another update from that scene in just a few minutes. Now to a 19 consumer alert. Summer travel can be a big expense, and a new Lending Tree survey shows transportation costs are really changing plans for a lot of people. Consumer investigator Carice Jackman looks at what travelers can do to keep those costs under control.
A new Lending Tree survey finds transportation costs are taking a toll on summer plans, with 75% of consumers saying expenses like gas and airfare have affected their plans.
What we found is that almost 40% of Americans say that they're not going to travel between May and September of this year, and the big reason for it is high gas prices, high airfares.
Chief Consumer Finance Analyst Matt Schultz says their survey also found some people are scaling back, changing plans, or skipping leisure travel altogether.
Summer vacations are such an important thing and such a great bonding time for families and friends. But, you know, when life is really expensive, sacrifices and tough choices have to be made.
For those who do travel, the survey found many are looking for ways to spend less.
I would suspect that there's an awful lot of people who, instead of maybe flying to some destination a good ways from home, may be going to their local state park or national park or something like that.
What advice would you provide to families so that the sticker shock is not as intense?
Maybe the best thing that you can do is to be flexible. The more that you can kind of keep your options open and be flexible and open to different ideas, the more options you have and the more control you will have over price.
He also says don't overlook credit card rewards as a useful tool. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
Schultz also added to prioritize long-term financial health before making short-term splurges. Overspending on one trip can create financial stress that lasts for months, so try to build in some breathing room for unexpected expenses if you do decide to travel. Well, we have been telling you, we have millions of Americans, including us, still under an air quality alert in the northern part of the United States. The National Weather Service says the smoke from these Canadian wildfires is going to continue to flow from the upper Great Lakes to the northeastern region of our country. And the air quality, that is a concern for this Sunday's World Cup final match outside of New York City for fans and competitors.
Got athletes who are playing at the top of their game, and then they're having to deal with these environmental risks that can impact their playing. You know, I don't think that they're going to be able to play with N95 masks, which is what we would normally recommend. So I think just trying to really optimize their respiratory health and doing anything they can to maintain their breathing status.
Health experts urge fans attending the final to mask up and hydrate. They also recommend that people move their activities indoors if you're watching, if you can, to avoid those respiratory risks. We want to get back to breaking news first at 4 and streaming live on 19 News Plus. This is live video from Westlake. There is a large police presence. As you can see here, this is Canterbury Road. Police say a woman who's 57 years old was assaulted at this home. This is between Detroit and Hilliard on Canterbury. The victim was rushed to the hospital, and according to investigators, she has life-threatening injuries. Police say her husband is in custody. They do not believe there is any sort of danger to the public at this time. We've seen officers, police tape, Ohio BCI, all on scene here. They expect to be on the scene for several hours, according to their latest update. As soon as we get new information, we'll bring it to you here live, first at 4 and on 19 News Plus. Also breaking, Cleveland police are looking for Ariel Sadler. They believe the 1-year-old could be in danger, and they think Ariel is with her mom. That's her in this picture, Cheyenne Sadler. So the pair was last seen yesterday on Bryant Avenue near East 105th. Call 911 or Cleveland Police immediately if you see them. Now, with all the smoke out there in Tremont, a group is handing out free N95 and KN95 masks while supplies last. They're giving them out at the Jefferson branch of the Cleveland Public Library. People were lined up to get them too, hoping to block out the particles of the smoky air. The group planning to stay out there until 6 o'clock, but again, that is until supplies last. Caught on camera in Westlake, police using a pit maneuver to stop a dangerous driver. As people called in saying this vehicle had already hit a median wall, nearly hit several drivers before police used this pit maneuver to try and stop her. The vehicle already lost a tire by the time police arrived on scene. The driver was taken to the hospital for evaluation, but is now facing several traffic offenses. LeBron James remains undecided about where he's going to play this upcoming season. The NBA's all-time scoring leader and current free agent said, "I won't hold you guys up too much longer." I was on a panel at the Fanatics Fest event in New York. Teams like Cleveland, Miami, Golden State, all thought to be in the mix. LeBron is leaving the Lakers after 8 seasons, and the speculation continues as fans wait his next move. Also breaking at this hour, a Kalamazoo sheriff's deputy has been shot by a person allegedly breaking into a business. This is outside Richland. Deputies say after shooting the deputy, the suspect led police on a chase across the county, crashed right next to the Kalamazoo sheriff's office. The suspect was arrested on the scene, is receiving medical treatment. The deputy who was shot was taken to a hospital and is stable. Also breaking, the U.S. Coast Guard rescuing passengers aboard a private yacht. This is off Cape Cod. This is a 127-foot boat yacht taking on water. There were 7 passengers, 5 crew members on board. Apparently the crew worked with another company to pump the water out of the yacht. The vessel was then towed back by a tugboat. It's unclear at this point if that yacht was damaged.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
Now to a live look through the 19 First Alert camera network. Not much to see from those live pictures because of all the smoke and haze out there. And then a live look at the radar as we continue to monitor the poor air quality out there. The good news is a break may be coming. It is a 19 first alert weather day for the smoke, and then tomorrow for storms, possibly severe. 19 first alert meteorologist Andy Chillian has been breaking it all down and the timing of it all. Andy.
Yeah, lots going on, Nikki. For the rest of today, we're going to see this smoke linger through about midnight and then a significant improvement coming after that. At least in this picture, you can see the buildings. You can make them out. Yesterday morning, you couldn't even see that. And that's been the case today. Visibility is not great by any means, but it's not as bad as yesterday. And the lights, if you can see this very closely, are on at Progressive Field, and we know that they're closely monitoring the forecast for this evening to try to get the Guardians game in. Visibility has been kept 1 to 2 miles for most locations. It's been a bit better out towards Mentor and Ashtabula, not quite under the smoke plume that's coming down this way. But air quality continues to remain in the very unhealthy range. Hazardous in these little maroon splotches here, that's more localized, and then unhealthy, which is red. And so really, once you remain in these red and purple colors, air quality continues to be healthy for everybody. Temperatures have been kept down again today. At least we're in the mid-80s. I am watching some of these showers and storms working their way into western Ohio. These will generally hit a wall once they hit our region, but there still can be a couple isolated showers and storms overnight. I'll track those and let you know what, of course, is coming tomorrow here in just a few minutes.
The Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office just released body camera footage from when a deputy shot a man who was wanted in connection with 2 rapes. But the moment the deputy pulled the trigger isn't on it. The incident drew a massive law enforcement presence outside a Euclid apartment complex. This was 2 weeks ago now. Madison Green has the details.
7 EMS. Shots fired, right? Yep. We got shots fired. I got him. Yep. Stand by.
Body camera video released by the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office shows the moments after a deputy shot a man wanted for multiple counts of raping 2 13-year-olds. The moment Timothy Kukla was shot, however, was not captured on video. The deputy was helping execute a search warrant for Kukla on July 7th in this Euclid apartment complex. Investigators say officers believed the operation had ended after a vehicle sped away from the complex and they thought Kukla was inside. While packing up equipment, the deputy turned his body camera off.
What else do we have? Do we have anything else? No, that's it.
Police say Kukla was later found hiding in a closet inside an apartment. While trying to arrest Kukla, the deputy fired 1 shot, hitting him in the cheek. The deputy then turned his body camera back on while placing Kukla in cuffs. He was taken into custody that day and treated at a hospital for a gunshot wound. Kukla is sitting in the Cuyahoga County Corrections Center, and the Bureau of Criminal Investigation has taken over the investigation. For 19 News, I'm Madison Green.
Cleveland Heights police are still working to find who shot a 19-year-old man at the Noble Food Deal on Noble Road. It happened around 1:30 yesterday afternoon. The victim is from South Euclid. He's still in the hospital. So far, we don't have any information on a suspect, a description, or any arrest. But if you saw anything, or if you have video, if you live in this area, you have video at the time of the shooting, you're asked to call Cleveland Heights Police. Cleveland police arrested 3 people who called themselves urban explorers, and now they're facing felony charges. Officers recovered evidence, including crowbars, bolt cutters, and video recording equipment. They say the group drove to several Cleveland school buildings and went inside illegally. Cameras and flock images helped officers track the car to the old Collinwood High School, where those arrests were made. The nation's top health agencies announced shredded iceberg lettuce sold at certain Taco Bell locations in 5 states may be the culprit for this diarrhea outbreak spreading in the Midwest. The CDC and the FDA did not name a supplier, but they are urging people to avoid greens at the fast food chain in specific states. Maddie Gannon has the latest.
It feels like your intestines are like really tight, or like something is like seizing them.
The cyclospora outbreak that has sickened well over 1,000 people in the U.S. has a link. The CDC and FDA announced they are looking into shredded iceberg lettuce served at some Taco Bell locations in Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia.
This infection, generally speaking, is not terribly severe for healthy people, but for people with compromised immune systems, it can cause a risk for more severe disease.
Taco Bell responded in a statement saying it took immediate action to remove potentially impacted lettuce from a supplier in select states. Taylor Fresh Foods supplied the lettuce and said in a statement Friday it's removing all of its iceberg lettuce from central Mexico from the U.S. market.
We see cyclospora outbreaks every summer. This is a much, much bigger outbreak than what we're used to seeing.
The CDC has confirmed more than 1,600 cases of the parasite that causes symptoms like diarrhea and nausea have occurred since May 1st. Another 5,100 potential cases are under further analysis, the agency said this week. Experts are urging caution when it comes to what you eat. For one small farm owner in Oklahoma, it's led to an uptick in interest in buying local.
Our orders were up, so I'm suspecting a lot of people are trying to buy local because they're a little bit scared of the national chain.
I'm Maddie Gannon reporting.